chicken biryani that comes out just right. I'm going to show you my technique for making biryani that has flavorful and fluffy rice, so let's get started. The first thing we're going to do is slice onions and then dice our tomatoes. Then on high heat, we're going to cook our onions until they're very golden brown. And my coffee in the background is there just because I like to drink coffee while I'm cooking. Now we're going to add our garlic paste and our ginger paste and cook it with the onions for a little bit. Then we're going to add our chicken. For biryani, the chicken should be cut into larger cubes, and this is about 4 pounds that I'm using here. Let the chicken change color a little bit, and then we're going to add our Shan Masala biryani mix. Since this is 4 pounds, I'm going to use 2 packets here. If you want this spicier, you can add more, but this is a pretty balanced flavor using 2 packets for 4 pounds of chicken. Then we're going to add some plain yogurt and mix it around. And then we're going to add our tomatoes and let this cook until they're soft. Then we're going to let it simmer a little bit and then add enough water to just barely cover the chicken, not more. Allow it to come to a simmer and then cover it and then reduce the heat to low. This will take about 45 minutes to get tender. While that's cooking, we can do some other prep work. And I know potatoes and biryani are controversial. If you don't like them, you can leave them out, but I like them, so I add them. And then I'm also going to chop some cilantro for later. Okay, after 45 minutes have passed, we're going to check to see that our chicken is tender. So I'm just going to take a piece and check with my fork, and I always check. And you can see here that it is. So we're going to move on to adding the potatoes. Again, if you don't like them, don't add them. And some green chilies for flavor as well. You don't have to add so many, but I added about 6 or 7 here, and I had some red ones, so I threw them in as well. So here I'm doing 2 things. I'm allowing this to simmer on high to cook the potatoes and to reduce the water in the masala to make it nice and thick. We don't want it too watery or our rice is going to mush up. So you see the potatoes, they're done, and the masala is thick, so I'm going to cover it and we're going to move on to preparing our rice. So we're going to wash our rice about 10 times to remove most of the starch from it and then drain it. And now I'm going to put a large pot of water to boil, and we're going to boil our Sela basmati rice for exactly 12 minutes. Be ready to drain it as soon as the timer goes off so it doesn't overcook. And now I'm going to layer my biryani. So the first layer needs to be the rice. That's why I took the masala out at first. And I put a layer of rice, and now I'm going to start layering my masala. So rice, masala, and then the final layer on the top should be rice. But before I do the final layer, I'm going to prepare some food coloring. So this is powder food coloring in about 1 cup of water. And then you can do this little pattern. It's not necessary. It just looks cute. And then I add some sliced butter and then about a handful of cilantro on top. Now we're going to add some foil to cover it before we put on the lid just to secure all the steam in there. And then the lid has a hole in it, so I'm going to put an extra towel just to cover that hole and then put something heavy on top of it to really make sure the lid is securely on the pot. And then we're going to cook this for 25 minutes exactly on low heat. Allow it to rest for 10 minutes and then you can lift the lid and just look at how beautiful this looks. And that is how you make